Can you imagine that 2.6 billion people, which is the third of population, do not even have access to internet? And they don't have even the opportunity to participate in such kind of an economy that is growing very rapidly. Well, digital transformation is rapidly increasing. Day by day, innovation is growing very fast. Technology is becoming a tool where it increases the quality of our life, but these tools are not necessarily available for everyone to use. And this is where digital divide comes in. If we don't build a robust infrastructure on a global level where everyone has access to the same opportunities when it comes to education, when it comes to access to tools, access to healthcare, that increases the divide and gives not only a digital divide, but even an economical divide.
As many issues we have facing today, being climate, peace and security, they are global issues coming with global opportunities as well. Therefore, the solution have to be at a multilateral level. And that's where cooperation at a global level among countries, sector and stakeholders is the solution to address these cross-border challenges.
The Digital Cooperation Organization is a very unique intergovernmental organization where 16 like-minded nations came together with the belief that digital economy is the way to diversify their economies, and therefore they cannot expedite that growth or harness the opportunity of digital economy without sharing best practices, without working together and creating the right opportunities for their citizens. Our mission is to create a world where every person, every business, and every government has a fair opportunity to prosper in the digital economy. Therefore, in the center and the core of the organization, we focus on women, youth, and entrepreneurs to achieve that objective. Considering the digital divide and all the factors now that is increasing that divide, we need to see what does digital economy maturity really mean? And what are the differences between countries, and where are the gaps, and what are the must-haves that every country should look into before the nice-to-have? And this is where DCO has launched the Digital Economy Navigator.
This tool is built on a human-centric framework. This framework will help identify each country where do they stand from a digital economy maturity, what is the gap and how they can move forward. What is the strength? What are their areas of development? And it doesn't only help government and nations, but also private sector, international organization. All of them would understand where they can focus, where they can invest, and help different countries to really mature and progress and have an inclusive and sustainable digital economy growth. We recognize the importance of digital transformation and emerging technology. This is why initiatives like ethical AI frameworks that we are building with our member state to really help them balance between the innovation and the human right and make sure that AI is ethical, responsible, and inclusive for all different nations.
Last year alone, 2024, digital economy was 16% of the global GDP. That gives abundance of opportunity when it comes to the economical growth. But to harness that abundance of opportunity, governments need to transform. And transformation by itself is a huge agenda. Therefore, it's overwhelming for countries to do that alone. It is very important to cooperate, very important to share best practices together. And therefore, our 4-year agenda going forward would be digital economic resilience and social prosperity.
The DCO 4-year agenda was adopted in the General Assembly in February 2025. The main objective is not to review all the objective or the goal or the ambition of the organization, it's really to define specific area of focus. And these areas of focus have been defined looking at the achievements and also the learnings over the last 4 years. The two main priorities are resilience, because we've learned about the issues and the challenges we have experienced over the last 4 years, but also how to unlock social prosperity, which is really one of the big reasons why DCO was created. To do that, this is supported by 4 strategic pillars. inspired by the Digital Economy Navigator, which is the backbone of what DCO does and what DCO implement in terms of initiative. We have the digital enablers, we have the digital business, the digital society, and the digital corridors.
One size does not fit all. Therefore, we launched the Digital FDI initiative, where we go to our member states and we study its business environment and we see how can we create a more robust business environment, tackling the challenges and gaps in every market and attracting the right FDI and the right investments that will address these gaps. And a great example is Pakistan and Rwanda, where we had success stories, and which shows as well how every country is unique, where the reforms and policies and regulations that we have recommended for Pakistan, as well as the incentives and packages to attract the right investments, was totally different than the ones that we are now recommending for Rwanda. And we are looking at expanding this initiative to all our member states. This General Assembly reaffirms our collective commitment to an innovative and resilient digital future.
These sort of events are a great way for startups and companies to set their footprint in different regions, different countries, different markets or industries.
Global events like this can really help in bridging public-private relationships. When governments and private institutions or startups co-create solutions, they tend to have very lasting impact.
We're looking at an opportunity where all the players are able to sit together and move all these policies that are on paper into action and being able to consider what the last person needs. So being able to have all these diverse really work together to bring that cohesion that is needed to support organizations in advancing this, governments, entrepreneurs. For instance, in digital transformation, we're seeing an opportunity where in programs like We Elevate, that we implement in Rwanda, in the Gambia, that you have all the players, private sector, government, entrepreneurs, e-commerce platforms, coming together to actually support women to getting plugged into the digital economy. And I think this is what international cooperation needs to look like.
If we look at the question of digital cooperation, this is still a new issue at the global level. Going back to the Sustainable Development Goals in 2015, they were completely absent. So we are now catching up, the world is catching up to really enhance our approach of digital cooperation. What excites me the most is really the potential of creating new partnership at a global level, innovative partnership, a partnership which will go across borders, across the traditional way we are doing multilateral activities and affairs in the world today, because there is no place for business as usual.
I'm really excited about that transformative impact that is coming ahead. We have worked on a lot of initiatives, but still, we are at the beginning of the road. The gap is big, and it cannot be bridged unless we work together, unless all nations put hands in hands together to really make sure that we are building a future that is inclusive, that is sustainable, where every person, every business, every nation is prospering in the digital economy.
What excites me today is that we're reaping the fruits of the impact that we're driving, not only among our member states, but on a global level as well. We're truly demonstrating what cooperation really means between the ecosystem that is leading that growth and prosperity in digital economy. I'm very proud that in a very short period of time, we're becoming a model for inclusivity and real cooperation on a global level.